In the late 1980s, Formula One was a symphony of roaring engines, technological marvels, and heart-stopping danger. Yet, louder than any V10 engine was the profound, deafening silence between two men who would come to define an entire era, Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost. On one side stood Alain Prost, nicknamed the Professor. He was the master of calculation, a methodical genius who drove with the precision of a surgeon. Prost's philosophy was to win as slowly as possible, a paradox that revealed his true genius. He conserved his car, his tires, and his fuel, treating each race like a high-speed chess match. He was the reigning world champion, a man at the pinnacle of his craft. On the other side was Ayrton Senna, known simply as the Magic. Senna was the polar opposite, a force of nature, a Brazilian mystic who drove on pure, unadulterated instinct. He was blindingly fast, fiercely aggressive, and utterly relentless. For Senna, driving wasn't about managing a machine. It was about finding the absolute limit of physics, of pushing beyond what was thought possible. He didn't just want to win. He needed to win at any cost. In 1988, the powerhouse McLaren team made a decision that would change the course of F1 history. They united these two titans. On paper, it was a dream team destined for unprecedented glory. In reality, it was a pressure cooker waiting to explode. Behind the wheel of the legendary MP4 quarters, arguably the most dominant car ever built. They won a staggering 15 out of 16 races. But this overwhelming success only served to magnify their fundamental conflict. There could only be one champion. That year, Senna seized the title. Prost, the established king, watched as his new teammate, this ferocious upstart, refused to yield an inch. He saw it in the aggressive lunges, the way Senna would force him wide on the track, the sheer refusal to back down. Prost realized that Senna wasn't just trying to beat him on the scoreboard. He was trying to break his spirit. What began as a competitive rivalry started to curdle, morphing into something far more personal and venomous. The simmering feud boiled over and reached its terrifying climax in 1989 at the Suzuka circuit in Japan. It was the penultimate race of the season. Prost held a comfortable lead in the championship standings. For Senna, the equation was simple. He had to win to keep his title hopes alive. Lap after lap, Senna stalked Prost, waiting for his moment. Finally, with just a few laps to go, he saw a gap. He launched a desperate, late-breaking dive into the tight final chicane. Prost, seeing the move coming, held his line and firmly closed the door. They collided. The two iconic red and white McLarens tangled and slid to a halt in the escape road. Prost, championship seemingly in hand, unbuckled his belts and stepped out of his car, his race over. But Senna was not done. Waving frantically at the marshals, he was given a push start. He navigated a controversial detour through the chicane's escape road, rejoined the race, pitted for a new nose cone, and stormed back through the field to take an unbelievable victory.